8 years of storytelling have culminated into this prologue. The Revelations Prologue will be the beginning of the end, and what I'm going to do is explain it beat by beat. Unfortunately, I cannot show you the prologue. If you'd like to see it, there will be a link in the description. Let's begin though. We need to first understand that most of this is happening in the past. What we're going to be seeing through most of this prologue already happened, and Monty is basically just recapping it to our characters before he sends them off into their final battle. We start off by seeing the house. This is the house that has been teased so often. We saw it in the original scrap, we saw it in the Origins ending, and we saw it in the multiplayer maps. This seems to be the house, and they've created this paradise for themselves, a new world, a new beginning. Within the house live the children. The children are our characters as kids. We already knew Samantha and Richtofen were in the house, but now you can clearly see Takio, Tank, and Nikolai are also in the house. Remember the great debate on why Richtofen didn't send his soul into the portal? Well, it doesn't seem to matter because all the children are accounted for in the house. What must have happened was that Richtofen never sent his soul because he never collected his soul. He never needed to. He killed himself as a way to show trust to the other members of the crew, to get them on board, and he just lied about it so that they'd be more willing to kill themselves and collect their souls. We only really needed those 3 souls, and we sent them to the house, and their souls are safe in the house, and the souls of the children are pure from any sort of corruption. So Richtofen not sending his soul is actually a good thing. It's okay, and it doesn't show any signs of him being evil. Now our characters return back to the house, and we see Maxis. I want to note that this shot is the exact same shot from the giant intro cutscene where Richtofen teleports through, except now it's not evil Nazi Richtofen, it's Dr. Maxis, and rather than shoot, they hug. So this is an interesting way to go full circle in your storytelling. I thought I would point that out. Now what they do is destroy the teleporter. Now Monty says they did everything as they were supposed to, which means nobody in this instant is really evil or plotting something. We have been discussing for several months whether Maxis is evil, whether Richtofen's evil, whether Monty's evil, whether one of them is scheming, and by the looks of things, nobody is truly inherently evil, and nobody is really planning things or scheming things right now. They did as they were told. They returned the souls back to the house. Now we have the children here, and they have destroyed the teleporter, and what this does is allow or prevent any other outside entities from entering into their world. While I did say that no one is inherently evil, that doesn't mean things can't go wrong, and things go wrong because of Maxis. This is hinted on very early when Richtofen presents the summoning key. The camera angle shifts and we suddenly see Dr. Maxis, and we look up towards him and his face looks noticeably distressed. What he's hearing are the voices coming from the summoning key. These are the voices of the Apothecons as well as the Shadow Man. They're able to seduce Maxis, and this is because Maxis doesn't have a soul. Monty even says so. He says it's not his fault. He only has a brain. Remember in the Origins intro cutscene, Richtofen lobotomizes Dr. Maxis, and he was unable to preserve the soul because he never had the summoning key. He only preserved the brain, and we sent that brain in the quadrotor to this area. So when Monty created this realm, remember he's the creator of this realm, he was only able to create a hollow form of Dr. Maxis, a soulless version of him, and because this version of Dr. Maxis was soulless, it was open to corruption from outside beings, and that's why the voice of the Shadow Man was able to affect him and seduce him and make him think that he was doing the right thing by releasing him from the summoning key. It wasn't that Maxis was evil. It wasn't that Maxis was working with the Apothecons. It was that because he is soulless, he is able to fall for their tricks. I would also like to note a little Easter egg in this scene. You'll notice the Wolf King poster is sitting in the background of this moment. So now the Shadow Man is released, and we learn that the Shadow Man is the true evil. We've been hinted at towards a greater evil lurking in the bowels of the Ether, and it may actually be the Shadow Man. The Shadow Man could be that original evil, and it could also be the Apothicons. The Shadow Man is, of course, an Apothicon, and he summons the Apothicons into this world. He was able to corrupt this world. He would not have been able to do this had he not been in the summoning key. One thing to note is that these are the Apothicons, and you'll notice they're shooting element 115. This may actually be how element 115 reaches other parts of the world in the forms of meteors, such as, say, the Tungska event. And now we're in the present. Remember when I said that everything was in the past and Monty was explaining it? That was everything up until this point. He has just finished giving the mission briefing, and he is about to send our characters into their final battle, where their goal is to stop the Apothicons, restore peace to this realm, and also protect the children's souls from being corrupted. This is pretty much everything you need to know in terms of story, so that you are able to hit the ground running when you play Revelations and understand why everything is the way it is. It appears as though this map will be a compilation of everything we've seen prior. Several important zombie maps throughout the saga will be brought back into this map, and certain areas will be other areas that we've played in before. For example, we have this shot of Noctare and Toten. The zombies are running through it. There may be a certain section of Noctare and Toten teleported into this map, almost reminiscent of what we saw originally in Transit when we saw Noctare and Toten in Transit. We also have a shot of Shangri-La. It appears as though this realm is the Aether, or the Infinite. They might be synonymous, and within this realm, Shangri-La has now been displaced into it. Remember the Shangri-La loading screen in which everything was being ripped up from the ground by these tornadoes, and then the world was floating upon rocks in the air? Well, it could very well be that the Shangri-La loading screen was referencing this event the whole time. Treyarch had hinted at this final battle in the Infinite several years ago, and we can now look at the Shangri-La loading screen and finally understand what it actually meant. So, as we play through this map, we should expect to see other parts of the zombie storyline that we've already played in. The previous teaser trailer that came out yesterday even showed us other clips of other maps. For example, here's a shot of Kinder der Toten. We know this is Kinder der Toten, this is the theater, you're looking out from the teleporter. You can also see a buyable weapon on the wall. Notice the chalk outline. It kinda looks like the Bowie knife, and that's where the Bowie knife is actually found in the original Kinder der Toten. We'll probably be able to play through this section of the map in Revelations. There were also hints at other maps. For example, we got a shot of Moon, we got a shot of Deriz, we got a shot of Ascension, we got a really cool shot of the Der Eisendrache pyramid room, and we also have a shot of Mob of the Dead. This is how this map is going to function. Remember when Jason Blundell said you'd be able to figure out the location of DLC 4 by piecing together all the secrets from other maps? This is what he was referring to, because DLC 4 is located in the Infinite, and it is literally pieced together by all the different zombie maps that we've been playing through for over 8 years now, which to me is pretty freaking cool. So this is what's going on here, and this is where you'll be playing. It isn't like previous zombie maps where we were able to say, okay, we're in Austria, or we are on the island of Pompeii, or we are in Stalingrad. No, we are in the Infinite, the Aether, and this is where the final battle will take place. A battle between good and evil, and should we succeed, the children's souls will be safe in paradise, and the universe will be safe from the corruption of the Apothicons. If you enjoyed this video or found it interesting, maybe give it a like, possibly subscribe. I'm going to be continuing to cover the story surrounding Revelations and the fallout of Revelations, so be sure to stay tuned for that. I'm going to go though, have a wonderful day, and bye.